This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, here on March the 28th, 2022. And folks, I am nursing a cold, but bear with me because my guest is beautiful and she sounds terrific. And bear with me because I've been waiting for a while to talk to her. She was involved in a movie I saw 9 times at the theater in 2016. And she's my third interview from this movie. It's Everybody Wants Some, which I have on Blu-ray, and I have the soundtrack. Was you going to do a cheer?
Woo! Yeah. Just to
Yeah.
brag that I have a voice.
Yeah, well, you got a better one than me right now. But folks, I give you billed as cute co-ed #1, although I think she's gorgeous. Cute's an understatement. But cute co-ed, folks, I give you the beautiful Christina Burdette. How do you do, Christina?
Hey, Greg. I'm doing good. I'm just, warming up my voice with some woos for everybody wants some. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm excited. I love this movie. I love your hair, by the way. Beautiful.
Thank you. I went through a phase where I realized I could do something with my hair and I changed it 6 times in the past few months. And then I ran out of money because I was just changing it so much. So now it's this and I'm loving it.
Oh, I like it. It looks great. Not
Thank
all girls can pull off short hair, but you're pulling on off great. You look fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, once I found out that I wouldn't have to brush my hair as much with it this length, I got very excited and now I'm addicted.
There you go. There you go. We only had this movie in the theater for 2 weeks, and I went to it 9 times. There were people that were working at the theater that were like, "You're here again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here again." They wouldn't be asking me that if I was watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But before we get into Everybody Wants Some and how awesome this movie is, how underratedly awesome this movie is, I would like to get some of your backstory and where how you got into acting, because I understand you also got a music video coming up and whatnot as well. So
Yeah, so I basically, oh, where do I begin? The day I was born.
there you go.
Um and then 6 years later, basically I was the first child of my parents and they didn't really know what to do with me, so they just threw me into like uh, tennis, tetherball, basketball, like they threw me into all the different things, all the activities. And there was like an acting class in Dallas, Catherine Sullivan, and I did that and I quit everything else. I was like, no, this is the one I want to do. And so I did Barney when I was younger, because lo and behold, that's filmed in freaking Texas. So it's just all these Texas kids.
I got a Barney story for you.
Oh, really?
Did you ever see the movie Office Space?
It's called Off of Space?
Office Space. It's
No.
a comedy, Office Space.
Office Space. I'm gonna look it up.
It came out in 1999.
Okay.
Very, very funny movie.
Oh yeah, I have it pulled up. Oh
Well,
yeah, this is like such an iconic poster. I know this.
I interviewed Todd Duffy a couple times from that film, and he was on Barney, and he said one of the stories that he told was that somebody was inside the Barney suit and it was heating up, and I guess it caught fire or something of that nature, and all you saw is this guy in a Barney suit uttering out the most utterly massive profanity.
Vile things.
Yeah, the guy got out of there, but I forget the details on what happened. But I was like, Barney profane. You don't see
Yeah.
that.
You don't see. I think that's lore. I think I like heard about that growing up or something. Cause yeah, we never the kid. I mean, he was like a 6'7" dude just in the suit, and whenever we were around him, he was always in the suit. Cause they wanted to protect our little hearts for Barney, but we saw him without his head on. He was a tall guy. He was just a dude at work. It was so funny. That's crazy. It caught on fire.
I
That's a
forget the
burning
detail.
Barney.
Yeah, I forget the details right now. They're shady, but I just remember the Bernie swearing bit. You
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah. You grow up quick on sets with adults for sure.
I bet.
Yeah,
Did,
they try their best. But yeah, so I did Barney and then I came out to LA and did a play called Eyewitness at the Mark Taper. But I was still like, I didn't want to be a child actor just because statistically that's very mentally difficult for people in the long run. And I really liked school and my friends. So I grew up in Texas and then like I would kind of bop out to LA to work or I'd work in Texas and I had reps there in Texas and out in LA. And then, yeah, I was just kind of working, doing acting anyway because I loved it, finishing up school. And we would drive down. So I lived in Texas, or sorry, I lived in Dallas. And we would drive down all the time to Austin because they are like a great indie scene and have cool projects going on. And Richard Linklater's always making movies there. So we're all driving down to be in the next Richard Linklater movie. It was like I was working on another movie in Dallas at the time, and all my coworkers on set were like, I was like so close to getting in the movie. I was like, I did the baseball tryouts and like everybody wants some, as they say, of Richard Linklater. So I drove down and then I met with him over Zoom while I was on set a second time. And then my mom drove me down because I was 17. And that's how I landed on that set.
a film that I saw 9 times.
Cannot believe it. That's amazing. You've seen it more than I have.
Nine
Probably.
times in the theater, not
In
just
the
on video, in
theater
the theater.
alone.
I've
So at that
never,
rate, you've probably seen it like 4,670 times now.
I love this movie. I'm going to be 50 in July.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, the backstory here, Dazed and Confused is set in the last day of school of 1976.
Mm-hmm.
This they call the spiritual sequel.
Yeah.
This one is set on that first week, like Thursday through Sunday before class goes in for college. In 1980, I was grabbed just through the trailer. And I got to say, here's my experience. I never set out to see this thing 9 times. I went to it one night. I loved it. I knew I was going to go back and see it again. And when I saw it a third time, I knew that was coming. By the time I saw it a fourth time, I was like, okay, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I went to work the next day and I couldn't stop thinking about it.
I love it.
I couldn't stop thinking about it. From the characters to starts out with My Sharona, which I
Mhm.
grew up with, through Good Times Roll by the Cars. Love that song. I remember all this music because I grew up in that. Like I said, I'm going to be 50 this year. So I grew up with all of this.
Yeah.
And I just kept going back.
It's such a feel good it's such a feel good movie. Like I was so impressed with how he's so good at this stuff too, but I was so impressed with like how there was not a conflict. There wasn't like a big obstacle they had to overcome. It was like a slice of life. You're just hanging out with the crew for the weekend and you left it going like, I had the best time of my life. That was I just watched a movie where there was like no uh there wasn't like a climactic moment. It wasn't like your typical storyline, and you were still like, yeah, that I feel amazing and I would watch it again. It just makes you feel so good to watch it, I think.
Well,
So I
you're
get
my
you.
yeah, I loved it. You're my third interview from this film.
Oh yeah, you interviewed Forrest, right?
Forrest Vickery.
Yeah.
I had him on. I had to say a few times, "Wake up, COVID! Wake up, coma, COVID! Ooh, wake up, coma! You're dressed like a Bible salesman. Put your lucky hat on with the marks on it." I love it when
Yeah.
they when the guy goes by him, just kind of goes like that at his head, and his head just. He was a great guy to talk to.
Yeah, he's the best. My it was kind of like a whole Texas community that was in it, and so my friend that I ended up moving out to LA with was also in the movie. And so we all, when we first moved to LA, they'd all just like had a huge movie come out, and like we were all um like hanging out, going to bars together. Um and so yeah, I got to spend a lot of time with Forrest. He's great. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Oh,
My mailman just like chunked the mail at my door. Oh man, that woke me up. But yeah,
did it
Forrest is
wake up? Did it wake up coma though?
no, nothing can wake up I mean, his name's Coma.
Who's your friend that you said was in the movie with you?
Sophia Ali. We didn't have scenes together, but she was the roommate of um
Zoe Deutsch.
Yes.
I've reached out to her. I'd love to get her on here.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm sure she'd love that. Yeah, we're still good friends. We like moved out together and lived together for a few years, and she's been busy. She's been like filming in random countries around the world. So trickier to get a hold of, but I'm sure she'd love that. I'll let her
Yeah,
know.
the other one I interviewed was Tori Terranova, who was Deborah Cadabra.
Oh yeah, Deborah Gadabra. What's funny is that when I went in for it, there were so many like little bits, like like Deborah Cadabra and like co-ed and roommate, and like the girls were just kind of like randomly popping up everywhere. And so I went in, and I'm sure they did too, and we just read for like all of the characters, and then based off that, they just kind of placed us all.
Yeah, one of my big things, I love talking to her, but her dad commented on the interview when I put it up on YouTube, and it
Mm.
was such a huge compliment because
Oh,
oh yeah, he was very, very favorable on the interview, and it just made me feel so good that her dad liked the interview.
that's all anybody wants is your dad to like the interview. That's so sweet. I hope. Oh my God, I'll tell my dad to comment. I'll
There
get
you go.
like, Dad, you have to make a cooler comment than Tori's dad.
Yeah, it was so cool, and yeah, so I've been really, really pushing this movie because I think it's got cult status, you know?
I think, yeah, but I think that's the trick about cults is that the cult classic movies, not cults, but um, cult classic movies is that they kind of take a couple decades to be considered a cult. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, Richard's so good at making those movies. I think so too. I hope so.
Well, I love Dazed and Confused, but I'm sorry, I love this more. I'm just going to say it. I love this more. Do it. Come on, do it.
Me too.
I love this movie. And speaking of Zoe Deutsch, I
Mhm.
just watched her over the weekend. I went and watched The Outfit.
Oh, nice. How was it? I haven't seen it.
It's really good. I've
Great.
gone to pretty much everything she's been in since this movie. I've been following as many people as I can from this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going in a lot of different directions. A lot to keep up with. But yeah, she's killing it. I love doing research on the spot. It's
Well, you
called,
want
what
me
is
to tell you,
it called?
when I first saw her, I thought she's gorgeous, and then I found out why.
Oh,
Her mom's Leah Thompson,
I know. I know. Yep. It's the perfect Why Are They Gorgeous story.
and Leah I haven't had on here, but I heard she is so nice. So
Oh
you know,
yeah. And her dad's like an acting coach in LA, so she's
he directed Pretty in Pink, I believe.
yeah, he's also a director. He
Yep,
does it all. He does it all.
Howard
But yeah,
Zoe
she's like
Joyce.
always
Yep, but I've watched Zoe and Why Him with James Franco, and
oh yeah.
I've watched her in quite a few things. I loved her in even Zombieland Double Tap.
Yeah, I remember that. Did you see the movie with her, what was it called? Was it Set It Up? Do
I
you know what I'm
don't
talking
know.
about?
No.
Yeah. Oh, you would love this because it's her and it's Glenn Powell doing a romance, like a
Oh,
comedy.
that can't be right. Not with Glenn Powell.
Yeah. Oh, the old. Yes. Her and Glenn Powell do like a rom-com together. It was good. I watched it. They were really great together.
I got to get the names up here. Glenn Powell, of course, played Finnegan,
Yes.
one of my favorite characters in the movie.
Oh yeah. He's so charming.
Oh
He
yeah.
really is like a oh my gosh, I'm blanking on all names today. Like a Matthew McConaughey. But more
No,
like
I like him more.
yeah. Glenn, you like Glenn more?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Finnegan.
Really charming like that, you know?
He's Finnegan.
Mm-hmm.
Finn, here's the thing I liked about Finn. Nothing phased him. Like when they're talking about he goes, I'm not going, like after they get kicked out of the sound machine, they're suggesting going to the country bar, and he goes, I'm not going to blah 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 such and such a place. And they go, so you're not going then? He goes, I didn't say that. Next thing you know, he's up there on the rodeo cow going up and down.
Yeah.
Another thing too with him is when they go to the party Oz, he
Mm.
just kind of just wanders in there, and it turns that light on Finn, and it's just like he doesn't matter where he is, he just seems to adapt.
Yeah, exactly. That's such a good way to put that character. Super adaptable.
Look at even the punk bar. It's like he don't care. I really loved Glenn Powell in this movie. We got to talk a little bit about you though, because you of course play the cute co-ed.
It's
I think
true.
I think you're the gorgeous co-ed.
Thank you.
They
No, big
mistitled that.
miscast.
Yes. But I love that. These guys are honking their horns, trying to get attention. You don't take any of that.
It was really yeah, it was really interesting cuz like I said I was 17 and I had my mom on set and all these guys and like a freshman in college that's 18, like it's an age appropriate role, but everybody in the cast, they were like almost 30 or like mid 20s like to late 20s, and they had like wives and like they were all like partying every day. It was just like such an age gap that when they found out my age they were all like, whoa, weird. Like my mom was there and I was like, sorry, the script is like you have to hit on me. and and I was like way out of my depths. I was so nervous because it was all these like guys that were like 10 plus years older. So it was like a very natural scene to where I'm the freshman that's like, oh my God, what did they just talk to me? Like, this is crazy.
What'd your mom think about you flipping them off? I said,
My mom, no, she's seen it all. She wasn't phased. Like, as long as it's in the script, you're fine. No, yeah, she was there with me, um, which was very funny. But yeah, it was also the girl that was my friend. I mean, Richard, he's just very like he's a very I don't know what the term is. Like this is an example of his directing is he gives the actors a lot of freedom.
uh-huh.
And so when it was time to shoot, he was like, "Hey, there's a group of girls standing over there. Their background, they're all chatting. Do you see him?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Go over there, feel them out. Let me know who you want to be your friend in this scene." And I was like, "That's so much freedom. That's so much like pressure." I like literally had to go over there and like pick out a friend who was now gonna be like
And you
featured.
come back with Glen Powell, didn't you?
I did. Or the Timber Bust. I don't know anyone. Yeah, so he was like really he gave actors a lot of creative freedom, which was great. Yeah.
Speaking of age difference, that played into the movie when you look at Wyatt Russell's character.
He really was. Yeah. I mean, it worked.
Does
That's
he look like his dad or what?
he does. And
Oh,
he also
wow.
looks like his mom.
Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, he does. He looks so much like both of them. It's crazy. He used to be a hockey player, like a professional hockey
I
player.
saw him in Goon 2, and he was really good in that. I'm like, wow, he has got some talent.
Yeah. It's really in his DNA. Because he was a professional hockey player and then was like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to act, and just flawlessly went into it.
Oh, he is really good. What was that zombie one he was in? I forget what it was, but I mean, to me, he's always going to be. Let me see, get his character name up here. Uh,
Oh, Willoughby?
Willoughby. Yeah, he's always going to be Willoughby. But I'm going to tell you, the guy has got some real range. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, he's done some like serious stuff too. He's got it. And his wife is in, have you seen Search Party?
I haven't.
His wife's very funny in Search Party.
Who's
They're
his
really
wife?
His wife is let's see. To my IMDb notes. Um she plays well, I'll just tell you her actual name. Um Meredith Hagner?
She and everybody wants some?
No. I
No?
don't even know if they knew each other at the time.
Ah,
But I just know from like, you know, social media and stuff.
that's
He's
what happened. That's what happened when Willoughby left the ball field. He got married.
absolutely.
He had to settle down.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, they were all like actual that was the thing is they all had to actually be baseball players, which was so interesting. They had to do like baseball tryouts. And I had friends that like didn't make it through the tryout. And then Temple Baker was he
Plum.
yeah, he wasn't even an actor. His buddies were just like, "You got to come to this audition with us." And he was like, "Okay, I guess." And then he was like the only one that made it through.
You can't keep cats in fridges.
He's so funny. It was
Another guy I've reached out to, I haven't heard back from.
mm,
I like I said, I would love to get as many people just to promote this thing. I love this film. I was so
aw.
excited. I was so excited when you got back to me.
Yeah, I know. I kept meaning to. I kept
It's
meaning to.
okay.
So like I'll see or here's what's bad actually
Mhm.
is I'll read things while I'm driving and then since I'm driving I'm like, "Oh, I can't answer that right now." And then
What are you doing reading it while you're driving?
it's like a notification, you know? It's like pops up on my like there's the maps and then it pops up and you're like, "What's that?" Oh, okay, I'll read it. But like since I open it then, I know. There are stoplights. I know it's bad and it backfires because then I forget to respond to things
It's
because
okay. I still have you on here.
it's on the road. I know we did it.
Yep, we did it.
I've
Yep.
been meaning to for so long. I'm so glad.
Well, last year was the 5 year anniversary, but you know what?
There's got to be a sixth.
Yep, I'm happy to have you on here. No time limit, you know?
No time limit. I mean, it's really gonna hit off in 20 years
There you go.
if the cult classic.
It better.
Let's hope. It really could. It's so good.
So
And I had a really fun time. It was just a great environment.
talk,
And that
talk about Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell is the most charming person in the world. He's so funny. He's like, I mean, he's not exactly his character, but in this sense, like he fell into it so easily because he can just be he would always have every New Year's he would have these like big ranch parties, and everyone would like be in onesies all day. Like he's always just like doing these like wild, ridiculous things that like keep life fun. And I feel like that's kind of how his character was too, in a more heightened sense. But like very much so, um, like his energy is just like that. To where he's always making everything so much more fun.
Blake Jenner.
Blake Jenner. Oh yeah, he was in my scene, but I didn't because like I said, my roommate and I would like hang out with them, but we'd kind of hang out with like because I was on set for I think I filmed for one day, and it was like Blake Jenner and Tyler Hoechlin and Glenn Powell and Temple and Ryan Guzman. It was whoever was in the car is who I was on set with that day. So, um, Blake was there, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was like writing poetry or something on set. He was like a very um, he was like, an artist in a very like funny, wacky movie with all these crazy characters.
Well, you put Ryan Guzman in his place still, didn't you?
Wow. I did. I did. That
He's
was
not going to whistle out at you again.
no, he was yeah, he was one of the older guys. I think Temple was the closest to my age, so Temple and I talked a lot on set. And then like once we all just started kind of hanging out in a crowd out here, it was like Temple and Glenn and those guys.
Those
But
guys. Those
those
guys.
hooligans.
Some Tyler Hoechlin, talk about him. He's like the Burt Reynolds of the film with that mustache.
I know.
His character is McReynolds. You know that's a Burt Reynolds reference.
No, I didn't know that, but that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was like such a great he was like the perfect straight man kind of for all of these crazy characters. 'Cause he was like also wild, but he was always the straight man that was like get your shit together. Like, cut it out. Stop it. Like you're acting like he was always calling people out on the wild things that they were doing. And it was so funny because I didn't think of him as a comedic actor before that. Just because he did like Teen Wolf and stuff like that, like brooding, serious things. And then he like kind of brought that same character energy, but in this world, it was just so funny and it worked, and it would like, and it was just such a fun like groundedness in all of this chaos. Because, like Temple's crazy, Glenn's crazy, like, Willoughby was always like super stoned and like out of his mind. Like these kids were just all over the place. And
Temple couldn't even be in the dance at the punk scene. They slammed him off into the wall.
I know it was just chaos, and like Tyler, I feel like was the one that was like, I always have my shit together, everything's under control, don't worry about it, and it was like a really funny. They all just, I mean, like Linklater just did such a good job of having all these different personalities work perfectly together.
I love the baseball scene with the axe.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good way to put his character.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like you would just it was truly all in the character work. Like these guys, you would just wanted to like watch them all talk and hang out for 2 hours or however long it was. And that was
mhm.
the whole concept, and it was perfect. You were like, damn, I wish I could hang out with them forever.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So when you hung out with Temple, did you guys talk about cats and refrigerators?
He can't talk about anything else. It's crazy. It's like the only hobby he has. I don't understand it. I'm like, try dogs, try anything else.
Well, I don't know who else you met from the film, but let's just throw a few names. You mentioned Matthew McConaughey. I think the Matthew McConaughey reference was Will Britton as Buter. I mean, excuse me, Billy Audrey. Billy Audrey.
Wait, Buter. No, you're
Buter.
right. Yeah,
He don't like
Buter.
being called Buter. You
Yeah.
don't like
Wait,
being called Buter.
you thought he was you thought he was the Matthew McConaughey of it?
He sounds just like Matthew McConaughey.
Interesting. Ooh, I love that take. I'm gonna have to rewatch it with that in mind. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, because Matthew McConaughey is such a specific person with his voice and everything. I could see that.
Yep,
Or
that's
was there like an older weird guy that would have been like his Dazed and Confused
yep.
character?
Because
Who?
Matthew McConaughey was in Dazed and Confused.
Right.
So when I watched Buter, I immediately thought of Matthew McConaughey because he sounded just like him.
Mm.
And I've seen Will Britton in other films, and he don't sound like that and everything. Yeah,
So he did that.
yeah, he did that.
Interesting.
Yep,
Oh my gosh. An actor's choice. I didn't know that.
yep.
Yeah, I never met him outside of the film. I don't even think he wasn't even in my scene, so we actually never worked together. But I'll have to rewatch it and listen to his voice. Because obviously, doing this today, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get off and rewatch it right now.
Oh yeah. Well, when we're done here, yes. But
Yes.
but there are a few others I gotta bring up. I don't know if you met them, but I gotta bring them up.
Give it a whirl.
Austin Emilio as Nesbit.
Austin Anelio as Nesbit.
Don't ever lend him your records.
Really? Nice.
He's the guy who loses every bet.
Yes. I yes. What's funny is I think I either we had a weird, not a weird, but it was different because we didn't film together, but because of like the Austin scene and like the Texas scene, I'd met him before, like through auditions. And so when I saw he was in it and at the premiere and stuff at South by and everything, I was like, "Oh shit, I know you. We've like known each other just from Texas stuff." I remembered because he has such a specific look, you know. I was like, "I know you." And we'd done like a table read or something together.
I
Um,
liked watching him get his ass handed to him in the mud wrestling thing.
yeah, yeah. I
That
remember
was
he's
so
a really
funny.
good actor. But I haven't kept up with him. I don't know how he's doing. I'm like stalking everybody right now on, oh, Fear of the Walking Dead. Amazing. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I gotta watch it.
And then Tanner Kalina as Blumley.
Oh, Tanner and I do know each other.
Here's the thing. I was connected to him through Tori Terranova and Forrest Vickery, but he has never, ever gotten back to me.
He is somewhere in Colorado now. He's like up in the nature. He lived in LA for a long time and then he moved to Colorado to do like missionary work, I think, or something. And yeah. And so he's I don't even know if he has Wi-Fi.
Tell him to get the hell on the show.
I know. I will. Yeah, we knew each other really well. He dated one of my friends for a really long time. And so he was always around. And just like also just through everybody wants some parties and things like that. But he's been gone. I think once COVID happened, people ended up in random places in the world.
You want me
And
to tell you what's funny about him?
what?
His character was so socially awkward, but yet he was an expert in everything. Like when they're playing basketball, he's getting all the baskets.
Yeah.
When they're playing knuckles, who's winning? Blumley. Poor Austin, poor Nesbitt. Oh, he lost.
Wow.
You'll
That's
notice I watched this movie quite carefully.
This is why I need to rewatch it after we've talked, because there's so many things that you caught that I have to go look and see.
It
Oh,
seems
his character's a winner.
you'll notice in everything he does.
Hmm.
Socially, he's a loser, but
Mm.
academically, he pulls off everything. And I
I
love it. And I love it when he's getting ready for the party. You
well,
know,
yeah, he was a freshman, right?
he
The
was
freshmen
something,
needed a win.
you know, but no, that's one thing I noticed about his character, you've seen this movie as many times as me. You pick out little things like that.
I know I
Um,
gotta catch up. I should have watched it 9 times before we met.
there we go. And of course, one of my favorite characters in the movie, again, a guy I've tried to get on here. I think he's so funny. Justin Street is Jay Niles.
Oh my God.
With
Yeah.
that Weird Al haircut.
Yes, as Jay Niles. Okay, that's I think who I thought was the Matthew McConaughey of it. Because wasn't Jay Niles like weirdly older? Yes, yes, that's what I was thinking of. But he doesn't have the voice. But he was so funny.
Here's one of the things I love. I love about Richard Linklater's writer. He doesn't give you what you expect
Mm-hmm.
because there was obvious conflict between the McReynolds character and Jay Niles.
Mm-hmm.
Obvious conflict. And, McReynolds has to teach him a lesson when he hits those home runs.
Yeah.
I like it, the fact, because in a lesser film that would have ended in a fist fight.
Mm-hmm.
Not this one. This one
There can't
here,
be conflict in this film. It's too enjoyable.
Jay Niles walks by him. He goes, "Great hit." He just got like, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
You know, you know, I think it made the characters even better.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. And stuff like that happened all through the film, you know, like
Yeah.
Glenn Powell and his not talking about how big his private was when he's talking to girls. And then somebody sells him out.
Absolutely crazy. Crazy.
Oh,
And
I
the
loved it.
funny thing is, I never went to college, so I have no idea. I'm like, I guess this is what college is like. I guess it's, like the movies where it's just a party all the time and everybody's like wild.
Well, tell me, I know you were in that scene there in the parking lot, but Were you ever like an extra in any of the club scenes?
No, they were gonna, I think at one point it was getting talked about like being there, and they like had me on hold for those dates, but I was filming another movie at the time, so I don't think it ended up working out. And didn't really, I mean, it would have been fun. That's the thing, is that Richard does a lot of improv, kind of like letting me pick out my friend. So you can be in the background, and then all of a sudden you're like in a scene and you're talking with people, and like just because you never know where things are going to go. So it would have been fun. um but no, I was only there for the parking lot day, and I missed all the parties, and I had friends in them, because truly, I mean, like, I feel like everyone in that film was like, especially the girls, were all just like, we all just knew each other from like living in Texas. So I know people were on set having a good time. And then
I
some people came from LA too, but
Did you get to meet Zoe Deutsch?
I did not. But Sophia did, my roommate, because I know, because she had the scene with her where she was a roommate. Um, but no, she wasn't in my scene. It's kind of like whoever's on set today, whoever's in your scene, you meet, and then you'll like kind of see people at like the premieres and stuff, but it's crazy and everybody's there, and like how do you talk to everyone? So it's hit or miss, but I met most people, especially the boys, because they were always like, in every scene they were all there.
Well, like I said, I'm going to say it again. I saw this 9 times in the 2 weeks it was here in the theater. That
That,
should be etched right on there.
I know, you should like have dinner with Richard at that point.
I think Richard should be on
Oh
here
yeah, I'm
because I'm
sure.
because this film was not released properly. I don't think.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. 2 weeks, that's like not a lot of time. It
yeah.
was kind of like it was like the indie scene, because it came out at South by Southwest originally. That's like where it premiered, which is like an indie film festival place. But also it's Richard Linklater. He's not like making a small little film. It's like a big deal. Um, but yeah, only 2 weeks. Dang. And now you can get it on Blu-ray.
And I got the soundtrack album.
Nice. Oh, that's an amazing album.
Do you have any
Yeah.
favorite songs on that?
I think the opening song.
My Sharona.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. All the music was perfect.
You got some Cars, you got some Van Halen, you got some Pat Benatar, you got
Mhm.
so much greatness.
So much greatness. It was like I wasn't there, so I don't know, but I feel like it perfectly encapsulated the time. It was like a little like time capsule slice of life. This was the energy, just based off even like movies that I've watched from that era. It felt like it was almost made in like the Animal House time.
Love Animal House.
Yeah.
I've done 2 interviews from Animal House.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. To where it was like that was like it was just like wild, was super funny, and everybody's having a good time, and there's not really, you don't have cell phones and people aren't texting. It's just like waking up and living life every day, like disconnected.
that's another thing too. I can't stand it when movies say they're set someplace and they end up not being set, like not feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Boogie Nights feels like the 70s.
Mm.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas feels like the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about Everybody Wants Some, it feels like 1980.
Yeah. Oh, specifically 1980.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got lucky, and my parents, especially my dad. Oh, hi.
Hi, Skittles.
Oh, hi, Skittles.
Skittles say hello to Christina. She's the gorgeous co-ed.
Hello, Skittles. You're gorgeous too. Oh, I want a cat so bad. My roommate's allergic.
Oh?
I love cats. I grew up with two.
I love my kitty. He's a rescue, and he come over here, and every time he comes over here, I gotta show him off. He says, "Look, you're using me for hits. You're exploiting me." And I say, "You're freeloading."
This is, you're not paying for anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Skittles.
Yeah. I get a lot of my guests love it when Skittles comes on here. Okay, he wants down. But
Skittles
yeah,
been
he'll
called out.
but he's rubbing against my finger.
He's still around. He's saying, I want food.
Yeah. I
Talking
wanna
about free stuff. I want food.
well, I do want to ask about some of your other film projects.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I know you've got some other things. I haven't seen these, but I want to ask about them because
I'll tell you if you should see him or not.
well, what about Color Me You?
Color Me You
Hmm.
was a film in that I filmed in Dallas. I was living out in LA, but I flew back to film it. It was a direct offer, and so I was like, great. And I played the uh maybe alcoholic might be a big word, but I was like kind of wild best friend roommate who was very like of the main chick who like had this whole thing about like I want to be an artist but I'm in law school and I'm like her law school roommate who's like you got to figure your shit out, everything's great. Like it was a fun character. It was funny. It wasn't a comedy, but I got to be the comedic relief, which was really fun. Yeah, and now it's out on Amazon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Am I about to have to Google myself? I
You were
might.
also in India Sweets and Spices.
Oh yeah, that funny enough, it was a movie with Sophia Ali. We did it together. We played friends in it. Um and it's so funny. It's like it's called India Sweets and Spices, so like and she was like the main. It was kind of like Crazy Rich Asians,
Mhm.
but India Sweets and Spices, and she
So
was
now
like
now it's Crazy Rich Sophia.
Crazy Rich Sophia. But yeah, it was she was the lead, and I played like her college best friend, and I guess I have a cast type. And it's so funny because I'll like promote it, and then I'll be like, but how do I say like, because it doesn't seem like I'm in it because it's called India Sweets and Spices, and I'm like, how do I say like, congrats Sophia, go watch this movie. Also, me too. Anyway, but it was really really fun to get to like be on screen with her because in Everybody Wants Some, we didn't have any scenes together, and we've been friends for so long. So it was so nice to have something to where it's like, oh my gosh, our friendship is on screen with each other. You know?
I think that was Sophia's helicopter going over.
Yes, Crazy Rich circling. But yeah, it came out at Tribeca this past year, and I went to New York and saw it, and it's a really feel good film. And I think it's out on Hulu now, so you can watch it there. It's no Blu-ray, but
You've
if you,
done some TV. What stands out to you on TV that you want to talk about that's memorable for you?
I really enjoyed, I really enjoyed Here and Now. I mean, I've enjoyed them all for different reasons. Um,
Here's my thing. I got
yeah,
my television set up so I could watch my Blu-rays. I don't watch television. I just watch my Blu-rays, you know. Um,
yeah.
yeah, um, I'm usually at work, then here I'll do an interview when I can, you know. Uh, Not enough time in the day, you know,
Right.
but I'd never seen Here and Now. So talk about your work in that because I know you got a lot of episodes you're in.
Yeah, I was doing that and Heather's kind of at the same time. And Heather's was a wild ride. Heather's like I met so many of my best friends. I it was like a really exciting like all of us. doing a show for the first time together, and it was like ensemble and high school and cheeky and fun. But then I think it kept trying to come out in 2018, and this is where it gets this is gossip. It kept trying to come out in 2018, and every time they were about to release it, because it's based off the 80s movie Heathers with Winona Ryder. So
Yep.
if you remember, the plot of that was them trying to kill everybody in school. And at the time in 2018, every time they were about to release the show, another school shooting would happen in America, until like I think after like four times of that same scenario happening, the head of Paramount was like, "We're not releasing this show. Never mind. We're not going to do it." It only came out in HBO Europe, and that was the end of it. And then Here and Now, we filmed up in Portland and in LA some, and then I think I got one season, but I like doing HBO stuff, so that was fun.
Do you have any charities that you're involved with?
I like to. I have a friend that works at the Dream Center in LA, and she does outreach. During COVID, it's been hard because it kind of goes back and forth on like outreach, but when I can, I like to go out with her, kind of into these like lower income communities and like play with the kids and, you know, hand out diapers and hand out food and um kind of like she's really involved in like checking in on the community and making sure that everyone's okay and like building relationships with them and the kids. And so I
And
like that just because it's really
until
hands
Ryan Gosman drives by and whistles at you, and then things get real.
off. And now, you know,
Outreach.
I always have to keep my eye out.
Outreach. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's just I mean LA's so big and there's so much um like displaced people and poverty. It's like, you know, extreme riches and extreme poverty depending on which block you're on. And so she's really involved in that. She's great. And I jump in and show up when I can because it's I mean, you know, with charity stuff, there's always the question of like, this is probably helping me more than it's helping them because I'm learning so much about all these different communities and like real things that are going on in the world that are outside of my silly little head.
Can you donate to outreach?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's called the Dream Center.
The Dream Center.
The Dream Center. And they're actually incredible because it's this giant building and they do everything. It's like you know, women who are getting away from abuse are on one level, and then like there's a addict recovery program on the other level, and then there's like a foster level. It's like they really cover a good chunk of it. So, the
So
Dream
it's Dream Center. I'm going to write that down because Dream Center. Dream Center in its outreach.
She does the outreach portion of it. That's only one of the things they do, but it's called, let me see, the Dream Center. You can just like generally, Dream Center Foundation.
Dream Center of Foundation. Okay. Can I make a proposition for you?
I'm open. Let's see.
Okay, this is something I throw at some of my guests, and I've
Oh,
had some luck with it. I always will offer to make a donation to their charity
wow.
in return for a challenge that has to do with suicide and depression awareness.
I'm in.
It's called the Doubtfire Face Challenge. It came out after Robin Williams left us. It involves you video yourself, you take a pie in the face, and you nominate three people, And if you got 3 people in the industry you can throw it at. I just had a female wrestler who was in the original Spider-Man movie.
Wow.
Just do it. Leah Thompson did it.
Hell yeah.
Although she could not get a pie, she used an ice cream.
You know, sugar, sugar.
But that is something I throw out there. Would you be down for something like that?
Send me the details. Send me the details. I think I accept.
There you go. Yep, I've had a few people, a few of my guests have taken part in this, and I got a YouTube a playlist that's got people that's been on my show that's done the challenge as well. So
Amazing. Oh, I gotta watch them and get notes on how to
yeah,
do it.
yeah. So I've had some of them. It's been pretty interesting, and but I would be willing to make a donation to Dream Center Foundation in return for a Doubt Fireface challenge.
All right. All right. So, I mean, you'll send me the stuff, but basically what I do is put a pie in my face and say this is the Doubtfire challenge.
Mm-hmm.
This is for awareness for mental illness and suicide. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. And
Can do.
you nominate 3 people. I, I bet you have some ideas
I do. That's the exciting part is nominating.
there. Yeah. Well, I thought I would throw this out at you because you seem like you have a good sense of humor. So,
I
okay.
love a good pie in the face. It's humor 101.
Have you
Never
ever
gets old.
have you ever done it before?
No,
No, there you go.
this will be exciting.
Well, I've done it once to get the ball. I didn't start this, but I've been kind of rolling with it because depression's never taken seriously. In fact, as we speak, there's an actress here in Canada that I'm kind of in communication with because she's dealing with depression. She lost her stepdad. She was
Mm.
very close with, and I check in with her, and she seems to very much appreciate that. And it's not depression's not taken. You get people out there that say, just get over it. You know, it's the worst pain you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was on antidepressants in high school.
mhm.
So I've been through it. But what I realized what I didn't realize is that all of my friends were on antidepressants too at the time, and every high schooler I know now is on antidepressants, and I was like, wow, high school was really depressing, and none of us knew to talk to each other about it. And none of us, like, not one of us ever opened up about being on antidepressants or having depression. And now, all these years later, it's like we all had it and we didn't talk about it. We didn't say anything. And we all were just like, I guess high school is supposed to be great and there's something wrong with me. But, like, high school, I mean, that age is just
Sucks.
sucks. It's really, really difficult. So I know what you're talking about.
I bet Finn was never on antidepressants.
No, these boys are having the time of their life. So happy.
Okay, I'll make a donation to this and I'll let you know about it. And
Great.
yep,
And let me know. Send me the pie challenge.
sure.
Just like,
Yep,
visual directions.
sure.
Thanks.
Sure.
Just to help.
Well, it doesn't cost much to do it, a paper plate and whipped cream, you don't have to go out and get a gourmet pie, you know, you know.
Thank God. I was gonna start baking.
But I thought I would bring that up.
Great. Yeah, I'm down.
All right, perfect.
All
Now,
right.
before Sophia circles around with the helicopter again, what social media can people reach you on? Where can people reach you?
Yes. You can reach me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is at X Tina Burdette, Burdette. That's the main one I use. I mean,
That's how I finally got hold of you.
I know. That's what I'm saying is like Facebook, I get on once a year, and then a year later, I'm like, oh yeah, I started all these conversations I forgot to finish.
That's what you said to me last year.
I
You were
know.
so
I was
apologetic.
like,
Look, I understand. I interviewed Chip Hermaz, who was in the movie Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story,
Mhm.
and he was so apologetic that he missed the anniversary because it was 1 year later.
Yeah.
I said, so what dates are you available? Come on. I had him on. We had a great chat.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
know. I'm so silly. Like I will literally like put in offers for furniture on Facebook Market and like be messaging people, and then I log off and I don't get on for a year again, and I come back and I'm like, "Oh my gosh. I just completely forgot to ever log back on." Cuz it's like the one thing that I don't get, like Instagram's just at my I should get the Facebook app, honestly.
I'll be frank. Um, I only started using Instagram this year. I
Mhm.
don't really post on it. I use it to reach out to people to have on the show
Yeah.
because sometimes Facebook filters messages, people don't see them, and
Mhm.
so yeah. But no, I was so glad to have you come on here today. And again, love your haircut. You look stylish.
You. Thank you.
Yeah,
I know. I'm loving it. I really am. I'm glad you like it.
I
Where's
bet you Ryan Gosman's gonna honk at you even more now.
I know. I got to be careful. I got to wear hats. Let them catch me.
What do you think when you hear me say, I saw this 9 times in the theater?
I think that it's very impressive, and also it's I mean, it's so impressive. It's shocking. But also when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense because it's not like a movie that you're watching to like find out what happens. It's a movie you're watching to like sit down and enjoy and hang out with these guys. So you can kind of like endlessly watch it and still have a good time. Because you're not like, oh yeah, I already know what happens. It's like, oh yeah, like we're doing this party, you know? But
I
I'm impressed. You should win an award for it.
I loved it. I absolutely love this movie, and I'm so honored to have you come on here today and talk about it. And yeah, I'm going to try to get more people from this on. You tell Sophia to get her ass on my show.
I
Tell her to
gotta
stop.
go. The
Tell her
girl
to stop hanging out at the party Oz and get on here.
I know, she's just partying. She's just partying.
Tell
She's
her to
just
break away from Finn for 5 minutes.
That'll get her. That'll get her.
Yeah,
That's
right. Like she'll break away from him.
I know, right? Yeah, right. It's gonna be them. They gotta be a group thing or bust.
Well, you know what? I love this movie. I'm glad you're part of it. A lot of fun seeing it. People at the theater were looking at me like I had two heads when they go in there to clean the theater, and they would say, "You're seeing this again?" Because they don't expect it out of a
Mhm.
movie that's not sold at the fast food restaurants.
Right. Touche.
But yeah, and I probably would have sought more than that if we had it longer.
I know, you only had 2 weeks. You saw it as much as you could.
And I loved it.
That's
I
amazing.
absolutely loved it.
That makes my heart so happy. That's literally why we do what we do when we make stuff. Because it's, so if you're lucky, it can end up being stuff that, makes people want to see it 9 times.
Oh, people want to see it 10 times.
I know. I really gotta go watch it, like now.
Did you go to the premiere of it?
I did at South by.
What was that like?
Super fun. It was great. It was chaos. It was like a premiere, you know? So it was just like pictures and red carpets and like crowds and the buzz of the festivals and the energy of, but like those boys were on top of the world. They were so happy. It was really sweet to see them all like, because like I said, a lot of them, like some of them weren't even actors, and now they have like a premiere, and like their movie's fantastic, and they're all like front, like they all like stayed at a I think like a lake house together the whole time they were filming. So they all just like lived together and got really close. And I know it was really sweet to see they were like a team together.
Do you ever get to do the convention scene?
No, I've never done it.
I love doing those. Because I was going to say, do you get recognized any?
Sometimes for like random things. Um, but I don't know about everybody wants them. I can't think of,
All you have to do is flip somebody off in the rear view mirror.
and they'll know. It's my finger they recognize for sure. But yeah, I mean, I would do conventions if there were conventions going on, but I don't know anything about it.
Well, you know what? I'm so honored to have had you on here today.
Thank
What
you.
is that you got? What
I just
color
got
is
a
that?
lollipop. I didn't even
Lollipop.
realize I was eating it
Can
until
you
I got it.
can you sing the lollipop song?
The lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop. Ba-dum, bum, bum.
something
Voila.
I something I didn't expect coming on here tonight.
Absolutely. You can't have a lollipop without the lollipop song. Good catch.
There you go. Well, before I let you go, would you mind doing a plug for my show?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Just state your name
Hmm.
and say you play the cute co-ed and cute co-ed number one, and it better be number one. I better look that up to make
It
sure.
is
Huh?
number one.
It better be number one.
It is, I promise.
It better be. Just state your name. Say you played the cute co-ed, and everybody wants some. Say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
Amazing. I'm ready. I have my script.
Go for it.
Hey, I am Christina Burdette. I played cute co-ed number one in Everybody Wants Some, and you are listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
That was perfect.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. You should have had a bigger role in the movie.
Thanks. I know I just didn't show up to the parties enough.
Oh my goodness. There's actors I've had on here that are bigger names than you that's taken 5 or 6 takes to get that.
Really?
Yep.
I'm a
You're
pro.
you're a pro.
What can
You
I
are a
say?
pro. Well, I'm 4 hours ahead of you here in New Brunswick. Yep.
I will let you go.
Yeah, we still got some daylight here.
Nice. Go catch it.
Actually, let's see if Skittles wants to say goodbye.
Oh,
Skittles?
bye, Skittles.
Skittles is like, you're exploiting me again. This is twice. This is
We're loving
twice.
it. We're loving the context, Skittles. Could not be more thrilled. Oh, what a cutie. I want a cat. I almost got, I, since my roommate's allergic, I was like, I'm just gonna get stray cats. And then there's this thing where you can like rescue cats and you just like, they're outdoor cats, so you just feed them every day. And then right before I was like, wait a second, I'm never gonna see these cats. I'm just gonna be buying cat food. This doesn't make any sense.
Did you ever try ferrets?
Oh yeah, they're illegal in California.
They're legal?
They're illegal. You have to sneak
Illegal?
them over. Illegal. You have to sneak them over from Nevada.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you
My
can't. No, you can't like legally own ferrets in California.
my brother and his wife had two.
I know. I know people with them. People say, "Okay, we're just gonna go buy them in Nevada and sneak them over."
I watched them drag my sister-in-law's hair dryer down the hall and under the bed. Yep, that's what they did.
They're kind of rats.
I got them some toys at the pet store
Mhm.
after that first date and never saw them again. I know where they went. They're under the bed. That's where they took everything that they could fit under there. Yep.
Wild.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Cats are much more. I love cats because they're not suck ups. Dogs are always like, "Oh, I love you," and cats are like, "This is who I am. We can just coexist together."
Skittles will jump on my bed and he'll be on the other side of me. And then he'll jump over my shins and he'll come right up and
Hmm.
stare me right in the face. And I'm like, Skittles, your uptime and my uptime are very, very different things.
That's so true. Yeah, I did have a roommate who had a cat who would like wake me up every morning. Sorry, my diction. Who would wake me up every morning by like crying at my door, and I would lose my mind. I was like, I don't know how to make this stop. How can I? I couldn't sleep. It was crazy. They have their things. They do.
Why didn't you open the door and let the cat in?
She would just keep meowing. It was like she was harassing me. I couldn't believe it. I know. I know. Ah, all right. Well, I'm gonna go watch Everybody Wants Some. I'll let you get that daylight.
There you go.
There it is.
Thank you so much for being part of this movie.
Thank you for bringing me on, and I'm so happy I did get to be a part of it because it's such a fun time capsule to be
Mm-hmm.
in.
It
Yeah.
is. And I'll keep watching what you're doing because
Thank.
I'd love to have you back.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I'll keep you updated on stuff I do.
absolutely. There you go.
You. All right. Thank you, Greg, and thank you, Python Paradise.
Absolutely. God bless you. You take care.
Back at you. Bye.
Bye bye.